Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Forget more Yellowstone. I need Taylor Sheridan to return to something he's not done since an underrated movie 4 years ago. Though more Yellowstone stories are always exciting, I'd much rather see Taylor Sheridan go back to a trend he left behind in 2021 instead. Since the ending of Yellowstone, many Taylor Sheridan fans have been wondering what's next for the writer and director. Though the main show has reached its conclusion, Sheridan also has several other Yellowstone spin-offs in the works, and the story of the Dutton family's control over the largest ranch in Montana is far from over. More Yellowstone stories are exciting, but I think Sheridan's talents would be put to better use by writing movies. Long before he started making shows, Taylor Sheridan made a name for himself by writing some acclaimed movies. Beginning with 2014's Sicario, Sheridan wrote some absolutely tremendous films. Hell or High Water and Wind River, for example, are two of the best neo-westerns ever made, and the rest of his work is just as impressive. Despite making such a huge name for himself as a writer of movies, Sheridan hasn't written a film in 4 years. That's far too long to go without Sheridan's impeccable movies, and I think he needs to make another film more than he needs to continue the story of Yellowstone. Ever since 2021's Those Who Wish Me Dead, Taylor Sheridan hasn't written or directed a feature-length film. He did produce Finest Kind in 2023, but since he wasn't in the writer's room, it wasn't truly a Taylor Sheridan movie. Instead, Sheridan has focused almost exclusively on television. In the 4 years since Those Who Wish Me Dead's release, Sheridan has written and created 1883, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Lioness, Landman, 1923, and 2 seasons of Yellowstone. While those shows are all superb, it's still a shame that Sheridan has paused his movie efforts, given how good his past work is. One of the main reasons I and many other Taylor Sheridan fans want to see him write another movie is because he's fantastic at it. Some of Sheridan's movies are among his best work, period. Hell or High Water, Wind River, and Sicario, for example, are all tremendous films, and they're arguably better than shows like 1883 or Lioness. Even his less acclaimed movies, like Those Who Wish Me Dead and Without Remorse, are still enjoyable and honestly underrated. Sheridan's movies basically have every good thing his shows do, they just condense it all down to a 2-hour runtime. A big reason Sheridan's movies are so good is because the format of film is perfectly suited to his style of writing. Sheridan is an incredibly concise, efficient, and smart writer, and his films make that abundantly clear. The only place he sometimes flounders is in the middle, which is only really noticeable in his TV shows. The middle of Wind River may drag for 20 minutes or so, but the middle of a season of Yellowstone lasts several hours. Sheridan's movies highlight his strengths and mask his few weaknesses, and he needs to have another tremendous film outing. Unfortunately for fans of Taylor Sheridan's movies, the writer doesn't have many upcoming projects that could be movies. Sheridan is working on a host of Yellowstone spin-offs like the Madison, Beth and Rip spin-off, and Jimmy's 6666 show. On top of that, Sheridan is also writing new seasons of returning shows like Mayor of Kingstown and potentially Lioness and Landman, though the latter two aren't yet confirmed. For the most part, Sheridan's focus on television over film seems like it will continue in the coming years. One project, however, provides a glimmer of hope for movie fans. Taylor Sheridan is adapting Empire of the Summer Moon, a historical book about Chief Quanah Parker of the Comanche Nation. It's still very early in pre-production, but Empire of the Summer Moon is the only one of Sheridan's projects that has a chance of being a feature-length film. There is, however, a good chance Empire of the Summer Moon will be made as a series, as the book it's based on covers 40 years of Parker's life, which may simply be too much material for a movie. Hopefully Taylor Sheridan will find a way to squeeze a new movie in between his upcoming Yellowstone spin-offs. Taylor Sheridan has spent the last few years proving he's a dominant force in television, but there's one thing I wish he'd do again. Something he hasn't tackled since an underrated gem of a movie back in 2021. While the world obsesses over the seemingly never-ending drama of Yellowstone and its spin-offs, I find myself craving a different side of Sheridan's storytelling, one that he showcased brilliantly in Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's easy to see why Yellowstone has taken on a life of its own. The sprawling Dutton family saga, complete with betrayal, land wars, and cowboy grit, has resonated deeply with audiences. The prequels, 1883 and 1923, have further entrenched Sheridan as the reigning king of neo-westerns. But as much as I appreciate his world-building in television, I miss the sheer tension, the pulse-pounding action, and the raw survival instincts he demonstrated in Those Who Wish Me Dead. That film, starring Angelina Jolie as a firefighter caught up in a deadly game of survival, wasn't just a thriller. It was a reminder that Sheridan's cinematic voice thrives when he drops characters into perilous situations and forces them to claw their way out. Let's face it, Sheridan's signature style is built on intensity. From Sicario to Wind River, he's at his best when he's crafting taut, high-stakes narratives where the environment itself is as much an enemy as the antagonists. Those Who Wish Me Dead had that in spades. The fire-ravaged wilderness, the ruthless assassins, the desperate bid for survival, it all combined into a gripping ride that, sadly, never got the recognition it deserved. That's why I need Sheridan to step away from the Yellowstone Ranch for a moment and return to this kind of storytelling. I want another contained, suspenseful thriller that showcases the rugged, unrelenting worlds he builds so well. Imagine another story where nature, crime, and human resilience collide in an unforgiving setting. Maybe it's a group of smoke jumpers trapped in a deadly inferno with a hidden agenda at play. Maybe it's a lone survivalist who discovers a dangerous secret buried deep in the wilderness. Maybe it's a modern-day fugitive story where someone has to outrun both the law and the elements. Sheridan has proven time and again that he understands the nuances of Western storytelling. But what made Those Who Wish Me Dead stand out was its ability to blend that Western DNA with a contemporary thriller sensibility. It wasn't just about the setting, it was about the relentless momentum, the desperation, and the fight to live another day. In a landscape crowded with superhero blockbusters and franchise spectacles, we need more of these grounded, gripping stories. Television has given Sheridan the room to stretch his legs as a storyteller. But there's something special about a 100-minute, no-frills, high-stakes thriller that keeps you on the edge of your seat. His dialogue is sharp, his characters are flawed yet compelling, and his ability to wring tension from every scene is unparalleled. Those Who Wish Me Dead was a masterclass in economical storytelling, and I'd love to see him revisit that format. Of course, the Yellowstone machine isn't going anywhere. With more spin-offs in the works and an entire Paramount Plus empire built around his vision, Sheridan's dominance in TV is secure. But that's exactly why now is the perfect time for him to shift gears. He's got the clout, the resources, and the creative freedom to do whatever he wants. And what I want is another heart-pounding, nerve-wracking thriller in the vein of Those Who Wish Me Dead. Sheridan has always been drawn to characters who find themselves up against impossible odds. Whether it's Emily Blunt's FBI agent navigating a murky world of cartel violence in Sicario, Jeremy Renner's tracker searching for justice in Wind River, or Angelina Jolie's firefighter trying to save a young boy from hitmen, his protagonists are always facing a brutal, unforgiving world, and they're all the more compelling for it. Maybe the next Sheridan thriller takes us to the Alaskan wilderness, where a park ranger stumbles upon something they were never meant to see. Maybe it's a storm chaser thriller where a group of scientists is being hunted while trying to gather data in the eye of a deadly hurricane. Maybe it's a psychological thriller set in an isolated mountain town where a sheriff is uncovering a web of secrets. Whatever it is, I trust Sheridan to craft it with the same grit and authenticity that made Those Who Wish Me Dead so gripping.